stars, or you could say real rock from the rock, an unusual musical happening in a most unusual place. The state prison
From the Blackbird Studios in sunny North Cambridge, it's the Rave 10-minute podcast. And now, nobody's more pissed off about the Trump victory than he is, because now he has to listen to you guys bitch about it for 4 years. Rave X.
Yeah, and bitch about it you will. T-Money, thank you. So, unless you were living in a cave or under a rock, we got a new fucking president, and some people, no wait, a lot of people are not happy. That's right, Trump-A-geddon 2016 is upon us, people. Now look, I'm not going to get into whether or not Trump is going to be a good president or a bad president. That's a whole nother show. What I would like to talk about is people's response to this and the hypocrisy, man. The liberal hypocrisy. Now look, just so you guys know, I didn't vote for Trump. And I'm not saying that because I don't want you to hate me, because plenty of you hate me enough. I didn't vote for Trump, and I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. And that's fine. But the hypocrisy and the backlash is fucking amazing, because Democrats and liberals just got 8 whole years of their golden boy, Barack Hussein Obama, who I thought was a good president. Maybe I'm a bit naive. I thought he did a good job. The thing is this, man. If you didn't vote for Obama, or you didn't vote for Hillary, people treated you like you were a fucking pariah, like a leper, you know? And that's how it is with the Democrats, the liberals, who are always claiming to be the good guys, but are some of the most hypocritical, self-centered, you know, not in my backyard, I'm not going to do anything, but I'm going to bitch a lot about it on the Twitter and the Facebook people I've ever met in my life. And probably the craziest thing I'm hearing or seeing is this person. When I woke up election morning, and my 5-year-old came to me and he said, "Mother, did the bad man win the election? What am I supposed to say to my child?" Okay, now wait a minute here, you fucking moron. First of all, your 5-year-old isn't pissed off that Trump won the election, and I'll tell you why. 5-year-olds don't pay rent, they don't pay taxes, they don't drive cars, they don't do any of that shit. He's not worried about it. What you're doing is a classic psychological thing called, projection, right? You're projecting your own feelings onto your 5-year-old. And I've heard people call the radio stations. I actually saw something on Twitter about it that said, "My 12-year-old girl was in tears today because Trump won." Can you please get over yourself, people? Pull your head out of your ass. Your kids are not upset because Trump won the election. You're upset, and you've put that on them. You've projected it onto them. And another thing, if you don't know how to talk to your kids about every single thing, you're a fucking horrible parent. No parent should be saying, "I don't know how to talk to my kids." But it's kind of like this, right? You have a dog, and you say on Saturday, "I'm taking my dog to the dog park." And you wake up Saturday and it's pouring rain. And you look at the dog and what do you say? "He's sad. My dog is sad because he knows we're not going to the dog park today." It's the same thing. You're projecting onto that dog the way you project onto your children. And here's the thing, man. That dog doesn't even know it's Saturday. So he's not sad you're not going to the park. And you're telling me your kids were crying because Trump won the election? They don't even fucking know what's going on. You ask these kids how long does a president stay a president? They don't fucking know. Now, I honestly think that the reason why a lot of people voted for Donald Trump was because, we don't really put America as, first the way we should. We really should. This is our country. It's our only country. It's a great place. A lot of us enjoy a lot of the perks here. And because we live here, we take for granted all of the great things, right? Like clean water and public transportation and all this stuff. And if something goes wrong, we start bitching about it. But trust me, I've been to other countries. A lot of you have been to other countries. America's a pretty good place. But more and more as time goes on, I don't know when it started exactly, but as time goes on, we don't really put America first. And even if someone says that, you call them a racist. And guys, look, we need to back off with the fucking this person's a racist, that person's a racist. I don't think Trump is a racist at all. Talking about securing the borders, we have laws on the books. And what a lot of people have stopped doing, a lot of sort of mayors and governors, not so much the president. Obama's deported more people than like the last 2 presidents combined. He's just enforcing the laws that are on the books. But you hear about these sanctuary cities and all this stuff. People come here because we're a nation of laws. And then the second they get here, they start rallying against the laws. And look, this isn't everyone, you know. The thing I like to tell people when they bring up a point when they say, my uncle came here from Honduras with $4 in his pocket. Okay, look, is that the rule or is that the exception? So yeah, we get some good people from other countries, but we also get some bad people from other countries. And lately, with the spike in terrorism, domestic, all these things that are going on, people have been getting really, really concerned, especially with immigration and people coming into the country. People who leave their countries, they leave their countries because they're not good. But then they come here and they bring a lot of that with them. It's like you can take the person out of the third world shithole, but you can't take the third world shithole out of the person. Sometime, not all the time. A lot of immigrants are good, but lately, you know, we're getting people from shithole countries, man. And trust me, I'm fucking living it, man. I live in a place that I've got to say is 90% immigrant, and I'm not mad at them. They're not bad people. What I was telling a friend the other day was they bring, you know, customs and things from their countries here. And there is a severe social and cultural divide. And I'll tell you what I mean. There's a family that lives across from me. I don't know where they're from. They're like from Pakistan or something. But they let their kid run up and down the hall screaming. And they put their trash outside their door. And they do all these things that we kind of don't do in America. I mean, look, some people do it if you live in a trailer park, but a civilized place in America, we're not letting our kids run up and down the hall banging on people's doors. We're not putting our trash outside to attract the rodents. It's just a different time now, you know? I feel like, it's just my opinion, but I feel like people used to come to the country and say, let's make America better. Now they come because they're fleeing wars and shit. And I guess they were always fleeing wars and poverties and stuff. It's just a different time now. And I think that the reason why, you know, what Trump really connected with a lot of middle-class voters, lower-class white voters, and look, Trump couldn't have won if the same people who voted for Obama didn't vote for Trump. So this thing of they're all a bunch of racists. Well, look, a lot of people who voted for Trump voted for Obama too, and it was time for something different. What people want for their country, hardworking people, like, look, my grandfather fought in World War II, and there are a lot of people whose parents fought in Vietnam or in World War II or going back to World War I, and you feel like you have a little bit of a stake in the country. And when you see people coming from other places like Somalia, Syria, Pakistan, these places, and they kind of give you the cold shoulder, they're rude to you. I had a woman from Afghanistan yell at me the other day because I asked her, could you please stop her kid from yelling and screaming outside my door? She yelled at me and told me I should move out. You know, these little things, they affect people. Because we should decide who we let into our country, and we should only let in the best and the brightest. Now, this gets labeled as racist. Let me ask you this, you fucking winners. When you go home, each one of you, when you go home, what's the first thing you do when you get into the house? You turn around and you lock your fucking door, and the windows are locked, and you have alarms. Why? Well, you don't want unsavory individuals coming into your home, hurting you, hurting your wife, hurting your kids, right? But if you have that same mentality for the country, people call you a racist. So imagine this. You just install a new $1,000 alarm system to your house, and your next door neighbor happens to be from Somalia or Haiti. And someone looks at you and they say, oh, you're securing your house? You racist. You tell them to go fuck themselves. And, you know, the thing is with Trump, he just wants to put America first. Is he a racist? I don't think so. I don't think you can be as successful as a businessman as he is and be a racist. I just don't think that works. We would have heard something racist about Trump, you know, 1,000,000 years ago. He was only running for president for a year and a half or whatever. And honestly, man, I just think that people are getting sick of it. You know, they're sick of what seems like America's being put on the back burner. You know, perfect example. The government doesn't have any money. The government has your money. And last year, the government gave so much of your money to other countries that's it's not gonna make a difference. It's not. I mean, look, Haiti's a third world shithole. Yeah, I said it because I've talked to people from Haiti, and you know what they tell me? They tell me it's a third world shithole. We give money to all these countries who hate us. They fucking hate America, and we give them money for it. Meanwhile, Flint, Michigan. Saw a post on Facebook. A woman holding up a sign on Election Day said that as of today, Flint, Michigan still does not have clean drinking water. And you know why? Because the governor tried to save, I think he was only going to save like $1.4 million, which seems like a lot, but it's not a lot when you're talking about state budgets. And all these kids got like lead poisoning, and they're going to be mentally disabled for the rest of their fucking life. There's nothing you can do about it. But in the same year, we gave $1 billion, $1 billion with a B, to China. Yeah, communist China. We gave them $1 billion. And people fucking hate that. I hate that. That $100, $200, $300 you see missing from your paycheck, that's your money. The government takes that, and they give it to third world shitholes, and then they just hate us, and nothing ever changes. So I have to ask you, Trump wants to put America first. Yeah. So would you rather people in your own country, and maybe in your own community, not have clean drinking water? Or would you rather give $500 million to Somalia? Now, it sucks. Look, if I could snap my fingers, I would make every country great. And we all would. But it comes down to like what I call the lifeboat scenario. You're in a lifeboat, it's packed. You're trying to get away from a sinking ship. People are trying to grab onto that boat and get on. Well, you can't let them on. It sucks. It's a tough decision. You can't let them on because if you let too many people on that boat, the boat sinks. And if we keep letting people come into this country from third world countries, and then, they start saying, well, this part of town is mostly Muslim. We want it to be enforced under Sharia law. And we want women to cover themselves. You can't do that. You can't sustain it is the problem. It's like if you take a bottle of good wine and a bottle of bad wine and you mix them together, you don't get good wine, right? You take a class of A students and you throw in a class of D students, you don't get better students. Everything brings it down. And I feel like we've been going on a downward curve for quite some time now. Now, the other thing I wanted to address is people are just saying that Trump's going to start knocking on people's doors and rounding up Muslims. He's going to send out the suede denim secret police. And they're just going to come and they're going to round up all these Muslims and Hispanics. Well, he can try to pass something like that. But the president isn't king, and that's what you guys need to understand. It's like, as much as Obama would have liked to, he just can't say, everyone is going to get $15 an hour. You can't do that. You're the president. You're not the king. So a lot of these things that people are worried about just aren't going to happen. Will Trump put America first? Probably. I hope so. Will he deport illegal immigrants? Well, we have laws on the books. Every president should just enforce those laws. The same way your boy, Barack Obama, enforced those laws and deported people. Now, if your mother brought you here when you were 3 and now you're 33, you don't know what the fuck Mexico is, so that person shouldn't be deported, right? We need common sense immigration reform, and I think that Trump might do it. Now, I don't want it to sound like I'm sucking Trump's dick. It's tremendous, it's huge, everyone's going to love my dick. No, I would like to have a president for America. And I remember I was watching the political debates years ago. I believe Mitt Romney was running, and he's taking questions in a town hall meeting. And someone stood up and they said, I'm a woman from Afghanistan, and I just want to know what you're going to do to help the people in Afghanistan. And Mitt Romney just started off, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. The president of America is not the president of every third world nation that's suffering. Nor are we the world's police. America is the only country that will go into another country and not take anything. And not say, well, we're going to take the oil, we're going to take this, we're going to take that. America goes in, we help everyone out, then we come back, and then we suffer. We're in debt. We don't have clean drinking water. Schools are fucked. Try renting an apartment in Boston. You can't do it. Why? Well, supply and demand. There's too many people. I would like to ban immigration into America from all countries for like 5 years. Not because I'm mean or because I'm a racist, but because I would like to just take care of Americans first. And when we're all taken care of, and we got clean drinking water in Flint, Michigan, and everyone can afford an apartment, and everyone's got a job, and we're all, on the same page, all right, fine. Then we open it up, and we let some immigration trickle in. But honestly, man, I didn't want to get too much into all that. What I wanted to comment mostly about was, like I said, people's responses. And the thing that I just find so hypocritical coming from liberal Democrats is the people who move away to a white, privileged community. They've got some land, they've got some trees, there's a little river that goes by their house. Their kids are going to go to white schools. They're not going to go to schools with a lot of immigrants and Haitians and Pakistanis and Somalians. They're going to send their kids to rich white schools. Why? Because deep down inside, they know that's the best chance for their child to succeed. Now, I speak my mind, man. And trust me, I get tons of shit from it. I read all of your hate mail, trust me. But the views on YouTube keep growing, so thank you. We all feel the same way. But the people on Facebook, liberals, Democrats, there's a certain thing you have to say to be part of the crowd, to be part of the clique, to be down with the in crowd, right? No one can stand up and say, I think Trump's got some good points, because you will be fucking, you're just going to get it, you know? If you own a business and you support Trump, you probably have to take the Trump sign out your window, which leads me to my next point. If you watched on election night, the reason why they thought that Hillary Clinton was winning was because when people came out, they call it exit polls, right? As people came out, those people had to lie because they put a camera in their face and they go, who'd you vote for? And they're like, holy shit, I run a business, I got a family, I have friends. I voted for Hillary Clinton, but they didn't. That's why if you've seen these people who are reporting from it, Megyn Kelly, oh, that's some top shelf white girl right there. Guys, am I right? Megyn Kelly, woo-wee, that's some good fucking right there. She looked like she was going to cry when Trump was announced as the winner. And all these other liberal shows, the Young Turks is a show I catch sometimes on YouTube, they were like beside themselves. They couldn't believe it because everyone thought there's no way Trump can win. Because more people than you think share the same beliefs that I do, or we all share a common belief and goal, which is to put America first. Now, does that mean we hate other people? Not at all. Should we take away rights from people? No, not at all. I heard someone talking about on Trump's campaign, I think Trump mentioned this about having a Muslim database. Should we do that? Absolutely not. It's a bad idea. We don't want to go back to internment camps for the Japanese. Definitely don't want to do that. But there is a problem with radicalized Muslims and people of Muslim faith. Is it all of them? Not at all. And I heard someone say, well, 1% of 1% of 1% of the Muslim faith has been radicalized. Yeah, but if you tally up the deaths and the carnage from the San Bernardino shootings, from the Orlando, Florida shootings, from the Boston Marathon bombings, which I was, there when it happened, and, the granddaddy of them all, 9/11, that tiny 1% of 1% of 1% can contribute to killing thousands. So something has to be done. And we have politicians who don't want to say it. I was watching a newscast when Major Nidal Hassan, this is a few years ago, he shot up a military base yelling Allah Akbar, and he was searching online for how to join the Taliban. Even though he was in the military, they had to ignore that. Because there's this thing where, they tell you to see, if you see something, say something. But if you say something, they call you a racist. So even when Major Nidal Hassan was telling people, I'm about to shoot up some motherfuckers because, y'all infidels are going to get the hot sword of Allah across your neck, they had to go, all right, don't say anything. But we have to protect ourselves. That's all I'm saying. And we can't let political correctness stop us from keeping the country safe. And I think that that's another thing that Trump reached out to people and, people heard that and they understood that. Now, should we build a giant wall? Look, a lot of countries have walls and fences. America's one of these countries where you can come in here and march down the street and say, I'm here, I'm illegal, I want rights. And we go, okay. Try going to Japan and saying, I'm here from America, I'm illegally in your country, and I want rights. They will grab you, bash your face in, put you in cuffs, and you will be on a boat back to America. So America's pretty good about, being civil to people. Now, I could go on for a while on this, man. It's definitely a divisive topic. I get that. Look, I hope Trump is a successful president because if he's successful, then we're all successful. The same way I wish that Barack Obama was successful. But wrapping it all up, let me just say this. Liberal Democrats, you're a bunch of fucking hypocrites, man. You really are. Because, people said bad stuff about Obama. You called them every fucking name in the book. You really did when Obama got elected. But Trump gets elected and you guys lose your fucking mind. All the shit you guys say about him, Meanwhile, you're moving out to rich white neighborhoods. You're sending your kids to rich white private schools. But you guys are the ones screaming diversity. Only, I don't see no one fucking going towards the diversity. Ain't no one who I know of buying a house in Roxbury, Dorchester, or Mattapan. You guys are buying your house out in the fucking countryside so you can be around other like-minded white folks. And that's why Trump got elected. And that's a shoot. Well, hey, man, you hear that? You hear that, kids? That is the sun coming up over the Blackbird Studios in sunny North Cambridge. For now, anyway. We're going to have to see what happens. Trump might come knocking on my door and round me up. Who knows? But I just wanted to say thank you. A lot of you are going to the Podbean website and downloading the show to take with you. We only have a couple of shows up so far, so you can get a taste of it. But we do have songs on there that you can download and have on your phone. Share it with your kids. Share it with your wife. We just put up a new song, man. I'm really excited. I had to choose from many of my songs off of Rave X Volume 5, and the song that I chose to put up for you guys to download for free was Injection. I feel like if you listen to the words in that, it's sort of perfect for what's going on right now. Anyway, my name's Rave X. This was the Rave X 10-Minute Podcast, and I want you guys to remember this. Believe half of what you see and none of what you read. My name's Rave X, and I'm out of here.
That was the Rave X 10-Minute Podcast. Be sure to click like and subscribe. For new music and all things Rave X, go to youtube.com and search Rave X Music.